What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Over the Octagon YouTube channel. My name is Evan Faulkner. I am one of your co-hosts over here on this podcast, but I'm making a video today, Sunday morning, night, or the morning after UFC Vegas 101. Mackenzie Dern gets a submission victory over Amanda Ribas. And I want to look at what's next now for Mackenzie Dern, right? We kind of look into the top five, which we'll get into, her being 6 before this fight. And she's fought them all, right? Except for Tatiana, which she mentions in her Octagon interview last night. She's beaten some, she's lost to some. So kind of what makes sense? Where do we go from here, now with her? I think that after watching last night's fight, it is very obvious how improved her striking is. Her jiu-jitsu, we've obviously known, is incredible. She gets that armbar, was patient, did everything she had to do to set it up perfectly in MMA to get the armbar victory over Amanda Ribas. It was a solid fight from her. Incredible. But now what's next, right? So where do we kind of go from here? What's next? Let's listen to what she had to say in the Octagon last night after her victory first. Kind of see what, she thinks herself, what the right thing is to do here. Let's dive into this.
Well, so I've got to ask you, what do you want next?
I just want to get another win in a row,
So another win. She's not immediately calling for a title shot, which seems obvious just because that is already booked, right? Tatiana Suarez, Zhang Weili is already booked. She's not calling for that right away.
So I don't know who that'll be. I would hope someone in front, but
someone in front. So I'm taking all these notes, key notes here. She's 6. We're going to look at the people in front.
I fought almost everyone in the front. The only one I think is Tatiana, and she's going for the belt. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, congratulations. Great to see your involvement. A beautiful armbar. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Mackenzie Dern.
Just an absolute great fight from her. Love to see it out of her. So now let's look at the rankings here and see kind of who's ahead of her, what the options are. Who is she going to fight? What makes the most sense? So we're looking at Mackenzie Dern here at 6, right? She just beat Amanda Ribas at 8. So I have a couple matchups that I think probably make the most. So she's now 15-5 after her submission win over Amanda Ribas. She is on a 2-fight win streak, but she's also 2-2 in her last 4, 3-2 in her last 5, or 3-3 in her last 6, right? She lost to Jan. This is the first one that I'm going to bring up. I feel like it might be a pretty big step for her. I don't really at this moment see her getting this win, but I think she fought and lost to Jan. She lost a decision. She didn't get finished, and that was back in October of 2022, so a little bit over 2 years ago. She loses to Yan Xiaonan, who obviously just lost to the champion, but has beaten Tabitha Ricci since then. Went to decision, even though she got choked unconscious. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but she got choked unconscious and the bell saved her. But, that was back in 2022, right? So 2 years ago, we're looking at, that's your highest opponent available at the time. No fight booked. I know a lot of people want to see her run it back with Zhang Weili, but Zhang obviously is booked against Tatiana Suarez, so that's not going to happen. Jan does not have a fight booked. That's Mackenzie Dern's highest possible opponent in the rankings right now, Yan Xiaonan. I don't know if that fight is close. However, that is the opponent that you would fight for a clear number 1 contender, right? So if Mackenzie Dern really is looking to get to the title as quickly as possible, whether she can win it or not is a different story. But if she's looking to get to the title as quickly as possible, Jan is definitely the opponent. Now let's go down one more. Let's look at Verna, right? Nobody ever knows what Verna's looking at, but she could be looking at Mackenzie Dern. So they also fought, but this one may make the most sense. Mackenzie Dern and Jandiroba fought back in 2020. Okay, so over 4 years ago. Mackenzie Dern won a decision. Now, Verna also has lost to Amanda Ribas, who, obviously Mackenzie Dern just beat. She's lost to Mackenzie Dern. She just beat Amanda Lemos, but she finds herself now, as the number 3 ranked women's strawweight. So, she has a loss against Mackenzie Dern. I think it makes, gives some motivation there to try to get that loss back. Mackenzie Dern, obviously has beaten her already, but now Verna is the number 3 ranked women's strawweight in the world. So it gives some motivation to Mackenzie Dern to accept that fight as well. In my opinion, I think Mackenzie Dern versus Verna Jandiroba makes the most sense. I think that is the fight that makes the most sense right now. Verna versus Mackenzie Dern. And then, obviously, Jan is in the mix there somewhere. But, Jan also just fought in November. So that could be a fight that Mackenzie Dern finds herself in just out of timing, right? Just in good timing. Verna hasn't fought since July, so she could be looking for a fight sooner maybe than Mackenzie Dern will be. So matchup-wise, that may not really work out. And it may work out more with Jan. I think this would be crazy. Let me just put that on the record. I think giving Mackenzie Dern Jan would be kind of crazy. But we've seen crazier things happen. Steve Ursay got a title shot as the number 10 ranked flyweight in the world. We've seen crazier things happen, right? So I do think it's possible. And then as far as anything else goes, you have Andrade. Dern also lost to Andrade. Let me pull it up. So Dern obviously lost to Andrade. She got KO'd in the second round, TKO in the second round. That, wasn't that long ago, a little over a year ago. I don't know if we're really going to run that back. And I don't really know where, Andrade is in her career. But coming off, she's 2-2 in her last 4 as well. So I don't know if we're going to run that back. But that is a possibility. You look at the rankings, Andrade is 4th, Dern is 6th, but that could change Tuesday when new rankings come out after Dern's submission victory over Amanda Ribas. That fight is just not nearly as interesting to me as her versus Verna. I think there's, another rematch here, higher ranking. I think there's a lot of things that make the Verna fight for Mackenzie Dern much more interesting to me than her rematching Jessica Andrade, especially because of where Andrade is in her career as well. Then you have like Amanda Lemos. So Amanda Lemos is obviously coming off the loss to Verna, but she just beat Mackenzie Dern back in February, right? So she just beat Mackenzie Dern back in February by decision. I find it unlikely that Amanda Lemos and Mackenzie Dern rematch so quickly. She has no fight booked either. So I will say, looking ahead, right? I'm only looking ahead here. If we kind of drop back, you could look at Lucinda, maybe Tabitha Ricci, Baby Shark coming off her loss. But I don't see Mackenzie Dern fighting down all the way to 10, especially on a 2-fight win streak currently. So to me, the fight that makes the most sense would have to be Verna. And I'll give you the long shot of a possible Jan Zalnan matchup. I don't think that's likely, but I do think we've seen crazier things. But yeah, that just recaps kind of what a potential matchup for Mackenzie Dern could look like post UFC Vegas 101 last night after her submission victory over Amanda Ribas. Drop a comment down below, man, on YouTube. Let us know who you think Mackenzie Dern should fight. I mean, I've gone through the top 6 here. Let me know who you think Mackenzie Dern should fight next. And if you're not already, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the thumbs up, like the video. Hell yeah, man. We will be uploading some podcasts this week. We have some fighter interviews that we need to get up, and we will be uploading a UFC 311 preview because we are now less than 1 week away from UFC 311 between your pound-for-pound #1 Islam Makhachev and the #1 contender Arman Tsarukyan. You're also going to see Merab Dvalishvili against Umar Nurmagomedov. This card is sick. Can't wait for that. Drop a comment below. Let me know your predictions for UFC 311 as well. Anyway, see you all in the next one, man. Peace. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Like the video. Deuces.